In your class Tinkercad account, click Resources, Learning Center, View All, scroll down to this week's exercises. The first one will be to create a centimeter ruler, again using duplicate and repeat. You'll also create a chess pawn, a die from scratch, and a custom keyring with your name on it. 3 of these, the ruler, the keyring, and the chess pawn, will be simple to print. They will not need any supports or anything different to be done in the settings in Flash Print, but the die from scratch might need supports. So we'll take a look at that model now. Here's the die in Flash Print. Using 2 fingers to swipe down on my mouse pad, I can zoom into the model to get a closer look, but as I do that, it moves off the screen. So what I can do is tap and hold with 1 finger and drag the model back to the middle of the screen, zoom in some more, and then click and drag it back to the middle. I want to get very close so I can examine the details. First thing I should do is click Move on Platform and Center. And then I'll look underneath and I can see the solid blue area indicating the part of the model that's touching the print bed. We can see that the number 6 is completely red, meaning that it's unsupported, which makes sense, right? Because it's raised up from the surface. We can also notice that there are some areas of the numbers that are unsupported. Like right here, this part of the number 2. Right, so we probably want to add supports for those areas. But we're not going to need to add supports for all overhanging areas. And to show you that, I'm going to just leave supports off for now. Click Start Slicing, Restore Defaults, Slice, Slice Preview. And then using the slider, if we look at the bottom corner down here of the 4, I'll scroll down to that section. You can see when that layer comes on, it's just building right out in thin air. I see that with the green line. It just went right out in thin air and then back over at a 90-degree angle. So there's absolutely nothing to help support that area. So I'll need to add supports in areas like that. While I'm here, I'm going to go down all the way down to the number 6 at the bottom, because there it is. Now if I move up one more layer, that's where the 6 starts to get printed. And if I look at the motion of the nozzle on this layer, you can see it's actually bridging across. It's not, neither end of the bridge is suspended in midair. They're both anchored down. That's why it's called a bridge. Right? So that actually should be relatively fine moving across. It's a small area. The filament should bridge that area without any problem. So with all of that in mind, we'll click Close Preview, click Supports, Auto Supports, and it doesn't appear that anything has happened. But if we look underneath the model, we'll see that supports have been added for the number 6, which we said we don't really need. Why didn't supports appear for those small areas? Well, it's probably because this setting, pillar size, is too large. So we'll knock that down to 1 millimeter, clear existing supports, and click Auto Supports. Okay, there we go. You can see that the letters all have supports where they need them, and we have supports for the number 6 as well underneath. But those might be difficult to remove, and they may end up marring the surface more than just relying on the bridging function would. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and I can remove them individually by clicking the trash can icon, indicating that I want to delete a support, and I can click on each individual support to delete it. There, they're all done. I'll click back, scroll back out, click Start Slicing. Now, because I added supports, I need to make some changes. Under Supports, I'll increase the space to model X and Y from 0.35 to 0.45 and increase the space to model Z from 0.2 to 0.3 and add 2 top solid layers. Now, normally when I add supports, I would want a raft to help secure the supports to the print bed. But remember, we don't have any supports actually touching the print bed. They're all contained within the numbers along the sides of the die. So in this case, we don't need a raft. So we'll leave that off. Click Slice, Slice Preview. Now we can see the model with the supports. And they should be easy to remove because we increase the space to model X and Y, which should ensure that these supports are not actually stuck to the back of the number, if you will. And if we look at the 6 on the bottom, the bridging should take care of the back of the number 6 without requiring any supports. Feel free to experiment, though, on your own. You can change the support settings. You can try printing the model without any supports at all and see how it comes out. In this case, the model is a 12-minute print, so it's a very short print. It's a good one to practice playing around with support settings until you find the combination of settings that work for you.